I am celebrating majorly. It was maybe the first time that Finn slept through the night, so I am feeling fresh and I am ready to make a goulash. Good morning, guy! It is another week and it's another recipe. I'm a bit delayed obviously this week because last time I made the video on I think the Friday, spent a whole weekend editing it, could you tell, and then posted it on the Monday. Today is Monday, I'm doing this, I'm late. Lucia, shout out to you because today's recipe is a goulash, which you have requested. So it's not my own recipe, I'll say that now. It's from an amazing blog, and Wolfgang, if you're watching this, you can read this and understand it perfectly because it's from my newfound favorite German bloggers, there's two of them, called Zuckerundjagdwurst, and they write an incredible vegan food blog, and they went to restaurants in Berlin pre-pandemic. And they make the most incredible food. So the goulash that I'm cooking today is not my recipe. It is from Zuckerundjagdwurst, and I will put a link wherever you put links in these things in the description box or something. I'll figure that out later. So yeah, let's get going. This goulash recipe, in place of meat, and I have no idea what meat people would use for a meaty goulash, in place of that, you're going to be using these. Well, this is if you're in Germany, okay? So this is this Soja Schnitzel stuff. It's dry and you have to rehydrate it. So I'm gonna rehydrate it in a broth. So with bouillon in boiling hot water. And I've made it before, I've made it once before, and it was really delicious. It was so good. I cook a lot, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, a little bit maybe, but I'm an all right cook. I'm not great, but I'm okay. But none of my food, or rarely my food, blows me away. But this, okay, it's not my food, I've said it, but this, when I made it, I was just amazed. It tastes like something from a restaurant. It's really, really, really good quality, hearty, delicious food. So that's why I'm making this one. If you're looking for these in Germany, in Berlin, you can go to Vegans, the shop, but you don't need to because they also sell them at least in our local Rewe, and I think Edeka carries lots of Vegans products too. So check those out for these. You can see here that they're, I think it's called textured meat protein or something, or textured something or other. But when you put water or stock to them, it soaks it all up and makes them super tasty. I've just chopped the onions and I'm crying. But I'm against the clock, so there's no time to stop and dry my eyes and blow my nose. So I've chopped the onions, it's just one large onion, and I have soaked the fake meat thing in a Gemüsebrühe, in a bouillon, and I think that's to stay in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so our next ingredient is the pickled cucumbers, or what are they called? Pickled gherkins. They have to be chopped up finely. I had no idea these went into a goulash, but maybe that's what makes this recipe so special. So I am using these ones from the Spreewald, I think. Very famous region for pickled things in Germany. I'm going to chop these up, and you also need to keep a bit of the liquid that it's in. I think you need 50 milliliters. So I have just drained out all of the stock from these pieces. It's really important that you push them against the sieve or squeeze them with your hands if they're not too hot. They were scorching for me, to be honest, I burnt myself. But if you can do that, really try and squeeze out as much water as possible, because otherwise they'll just be too watery in the pan and they won't take up any of the flavour of what you're cooking. So yeah, squeeze out as much water as possible. I've now added 3 tablespoons. And honestly, do you have one of these things? This is a lifesaver. Who knew what a tablespoon was before? I think that's why my cooking was not the best back then, but these are brilliant. Get some of those. So I know exactly, I've added 3 tablespoons of mustard to this, and I'm using, for the German people, some Mittelscharf from DM. I think that's a good flavour for it. And it's now a case of mixing it by hand. And actually, as I'm doing this, I'm wondering if maybe I haven't squeezed enough. They do feel a little bit watery, but it's too late now. So you're gonna do this until they are covered in mustard. And then we're gonna fry them up. I just have to say at this point, I'm making myself laugh because I've never in my life been this organized with my cooking. And if there's one thing that comes from this, from me making these videos, it's that I've really improved my organization. I'm just gonna do a quick little spin around so you can see. Look at this. I've already got my ingredients. I've got my 3 tablespoons of flour back there, my 3 tablespoons of tomato puree, I've got my chopped pickles, and I've got an onion, and I've got some, am I filming this right? I've got red wine, and in Finn's little cup there, I've got the water from the juice, whatever it's called, from the pickles. Big pan with some oil, and we're gonna fry these things. The flour and the tomato paste to this, and that just makes it creamier when you start adding all the liquid in, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm adding this, there's 400 milliliters or 500 milliliters of stock, bouillon again. I'm just adding it slowly just to see how much I actually need, and it's looking pretty nice. Mum, is this moist enough for you? Apparently my shepherd's pie was a bit too dry for Mum, so hope this one's looking better. So these things are in the pan, and I'm just stirring them periodically just to stop them from sticking to the pan. And I am actually eating quite a lot of them because in stark contrast to last week's video, I'm actually starving today and I haven't had any lunch, and this smells so good. And I think it smells even better because I haven't got the extractor fan on. Sorry, honey, but it ruins the video quality. It ruins the, you know, the audio part. So no extractor fan on today, and it smells delicious. So it's just bubbling away on the stove, and I'm gonna chuck in, it tells me to, only 2 cloves. You need to be careful that you find those before you eat them, because it's not a nice experience if you do. And 2 bay leaves, again only 2. They're going in, and then the liquid from the gherkins is going in too, and then 200 milliliters of red wine. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how good that smells. It's the red wine. As soon as that goes in, it's so good. I did have a slight guilty conscience, or not really, but I planned today because it's Burns night in Scotland. Happy Burns night, Ewan. And I really planned to make vegan haggis like I always do, and neeps and tatties. But then I needed to make this video with the goulash, and I didn't want to let you down, Lucia, so I'm doing this. And honestly, I don't regret it at all, because this tastes, or it smells, so good. I know it's my second time in making this, but I'm still just amazed by it. It is so tasty. Anyone who thinks that vegan food is bland or boring or depriving is just living on another planet, because this stuff is so good. I'm going to stop picking up my own food here now, but honestly, you have to try it. This recipe is really phenomenal. And I wanted to say right now that this goulash, when I first saw the recipe, I was a bit surprised because goulash to me is always with peppers and paprika and things. Smoked paprika, I thought, but this has none of it in. So it's perfect for my mother-in-law because she can't eat paprika. But I think because this is my second time making it, I'm just going to play around with the recipe a little bit, and I'm going to put some smoked paprika in just to see if it changes the taste, if it makes it better, worse, whatever. That's what I'm going to do. So it's food time. The goulash is ready. I'm serving mine with rice and some red cabbage. The last time I did it with the Pfannenknödeln from the zuckerundjagdwurst recipe. But this time I haven't got time to make the Pfannenknödeln, so I'm just doing it with white rice. You could serve it with whatever you like, I guess. Yeah, thank you for watching. And if you want me to make any other videos of any special kinds of food, let me know. Let's see if we can veganize them. Okay, enjoy. Bye. Did you like the goulash?
Yeah.